Hey, I'm Axel, a tournament runner and longtime beta tester for Mechabreak. And I really wanted to do some tutorials or some guides for the open beta, but I gotta get real for a second. Because there is a lot to talk about, and not all of it is very positive. In fact, I do have to cover a lot of negative points, but please do not mistake me. I want this game to succeed. And because I want it to succeed, we have to point out its flaws.
Played these games before!
So, the Mechabreak open beta is open right now, and it is catching a lot of flack on Steam. In my previous video, I thought that it was just gonna be all smoke and mirror and angry comments, but after digging through a lot more of it, after getting hands-on for myself, after talking to a lot more of the people who are passionate about the game, my opinions are changing, or is changed. And I am here then to talk about all of the biggest controversial points about the Mechabreak open beta. And I hope that you stick around because we are going to cover some really in-depth stuff. First, I do have to front load this video with a list of demands for the developers. 1. You should unlock all strikers including the Inferno for the duration of the beta. 2. You should remove all the bots from matchmaking except for when someone is going AFK. People are tired of bot matches, and this is going to drastically affect the player population. That leads to more bot matches, and that's not a good thing. 3. Please unlock 3v3 Ace Arena and custom rooms so that we can run a tournament. We can run tournaments. We want people to be level 15 so that we can run tournaments. Please give us that. And with that out of the way, I can yap about the controversies of the beta thus far.
Here comes the money.
Pay to win. That is something that a lot of people throw around as criticism for a lot of games, not just Mechabreak. And I feel like it's used so much in the gaming sphere that it just doesn't make any sense anymore. Like, we need to get more specific than that. Every overpowered thing in Mechabreak right now can be earned with time. All of the strikers, mods, and etc. can be unlocked with dedicated play. Mods are unlocked through the Battle Pass and the Mechabreak mode. And at face value, if everything is capable of being unlocked through, playing the game, that should be fair, right? That sounds fair. Well, the problem is more complicated than that because currently Mechabreak is using a freemium subscription model to play. You might be asking, what is the freemium subscription model? Well, take an app I'm literally using right now. Grammarly gives you free access to some of its features, but requires you to subscribe monthly for the full experience. It will constantly annoy you with stuff so that you would subscribe. I mean, look, the bonus Matrix contract gives you Inferno immediately, 30 levels of Battle Pass, point boost, bonus blue credits, and that sounds really good for a Battle Pass, right? But it's all at the expense of the free-to-play player. Furthermore, if you go to the dreaded logistic page, you can see that Inferno is locked behind 18,000 merit point. There is a weekly cap of 6,000 merit points, which means a free-to-play person would have to grind Mechabreak for around 30 to 60 games of Mechabreak every week to unlock a striker that they haven't even tested or played in the normal modes. Furthermore, on the dreaded logistic page, you can see that you can purchase something called the Special Tactic Support subscription. This is probably even more concerning than the Battle Pass because Mechabreak is currently the best mode to play in order to get access to resources. So mods, paints, and all that stuff come from Mechabreak. And Battle Pass levels are easier, in my opinion, to get in Mechabreak as well. And even now, because we are playing the beta, there is a yellow credit box that gives you core rank. The fear is that we'd have to pay to unlock basic features in the Mechabreak game mode using this subscription service. And this is really bad because the 3-item extraction rocket already feels very restrictive in Mechabreak right now. So like Grammarly, we'd have to pay a subscription service in order to access the full functionality of the Mechabreak game mode and make the best of our time. You should value your time. I shouldn't have to tell you how valuable your time is. You know, you could be working, you could be doing other stuff. There's a lot of stuff that you can do besides grinding for 6k merit points on Mechabreak. And that is the problem, because the people who are willing to shell out for the battle pass and the subscription service are going to be infinitely more able to get gameplay advantages and also get the access to the other strikers compared to the people who are just free to play. And it is of my opinion that no striker should cost more than 10k blue credits, because one, strikers are not more powerful than each other just because they cost more. This is a PvP game, and the most expensive striker in the game right now, Panther, is not even that good. I've talked to so many competitive players during this last couple of days, and nobody wants to run Panther over stuff like Welcome to Worldlessness in this current patch. So despite being the most expensive damn striker that's in the beta right now, it's not even worth it. It's not even overpowered. So what's even the point of pricing it that high and locking a pure melee style behind that kind of value? Panzer is ridiculously expensive, but what's even worse is that Mechabreak doesn't even follow its own rules about some of this. We're going back to the dreaded logistic page, and we're taking a look at their conversion rate from premium credits to matrix credits. According to them, 100 core right is 3,000 matrix credits. So according to their own rules, Panzer should be around 20,000 K something credits, right? Like, what is this 68,000 number coming from? And you know, Panzer's not even good, and people are very frustrated that it is so high to begin with, and people are very frustrated that it's not even good. I am and always will be a proponent of letting people play whatever the hell they want and then charging them for cosmetics. However, it does seem like Mechabreak is taking the other kind of approach, not charging for that many cosmetics, but instead locking gameplay value, which is confusing, especially now, especially in a 6v6 sort of team-based kind of game. And that is a shame, because there is a lot of good cosmetics that are free for you to get. There's a lot of paint, obviously, but there's also pilot customization options that you can only really get with blue credits or through achievements. And I have to give them props for that stuff. I have to give credit where credit is due. However, I think the solution to all of this is going to have to be very drastic. I've been thinking about the monetization scheme since the closed beta testing, and you know, I know that companies would need a lot of time and a lot of meetings in order to change something like this, but ideally, to me, my ideal monetization scheme for Mechabreak will look something like this. So my goal for, proposing the system is to maximize goodwill for players so that you can gain their trust back again, and that they will spend for the cosmetics or even whale for the cosmetics in this game. I would start by reducing all starting strikers prices to 10k or less. That way we can make every striker available to everyone, and I would make the battle pass levels give 10,000 credits flat. Loot boxes should not give credits anymore, And that's because I want to introduce a way to buy modifications, paint boxes, and loot boxes with blue credit instead of merit points, because currently you can only use merit points in order to buy loot boxes. In my system, matrix credits will remain important, but players get way more access to gameplay options if they are allowed to grind. For Inferno, I would only place them behind a 6k merit point grind. 6k merit points is already hard for people to reach normally. 18k is a ridiculously high time investment to be asking for a single striker in this already limited roster. And what about future strikers? Would they be 18k as well, requiring a minimum of 3 weeks to grind for even dedicated players? No, that's kind of ridiculous for a PvP game. Then it is time to rework the Battle Pass and the Special Operations subscription. I think that everyone must have the 6 weekly missions, and Large Cargo Rocket must be just available. This stuff is non-negotiable for a free-to-play game, or else you would always have players claiming that this game is pay to win or pay to skip the grind in this case, right? So we need those abilities to be accessible for everyone. On the other hand though, we do need to, give some to the developer side. So I would make those patterns, insignias, pilot cosmetics, core right only, which is fair, I think. Weapon skins should also be buyable with core right. And last beta we saw some pilots that are buyable with blue credits. I think those unique pilots for the strikers, they should be premium only, in my opinion. And for colors, I want to introduce a buyable palette system, kind of like Warframe. Warframe has a really good color system where you can buy a selection of them in a theme. And the theme can be whatever. It could be like cool, warm, summer, winter, autumn, whatever the heck, right? And I want those palettes to be permanent colors in bulk where you can apply them to any striker. They have to be premium buyable, but I think that is more fair than the system that we kind of have now, with the paint boxes only giving us a randomized and only applicable to one mech color. That feels kind of bad, even though it is free and grindable in Mechabreak. It does feel very bad for a lot of the players who just wants to, color their mechs. So I think in my system, we have some compromises that are going on so that we have more people playing the game with their favorite way of playing, with their favorite strikers, and more ways for the cosmetic people to buy the cool shit that they want. So then we also give them a reason to grind for resources through the ability to convert, let's say, blue credits into loot boxes and stuff like that. And here is your call to action, YouTube algorithm overlord. I want everybody here that's still looking at this video to please post your own thoughts and opinions about the state of the game right now. We really need to give more feedback and opinions to the devs so that they can sort of make a decision in order to change a lot of this, because the direction the game is going right now, if it's launching in pretty soon, they said spring 2025, this monetization scheme would turn away so many players. So I definitely hope that we as a community can make a change here for the better. And of course, all of those Chinese players are all complaining about this as well, but we need to show that, especially in the Western market, we do not want to grind for strikers. We want to just play and then pay for cosmetics and stuff. And Mechabreak is a PvP centered game, so can I get some people up in my PvP mode, please?
The war against the machines.
bot matches are simply undesirable in matchmaking. I do not want to play against any more bots. And in fact, this game has made me very good at spotting AI. I mean, this game has made me very, very good at identifying AI players. And if they have Inferno, you know it's a bot right now. Even after completing the tutorial, I swear that half of my 6v6 Operation Verge matches have been AI so far. And that has never frustrated me more because PvP Mechabreak is honestly amazing. The PvP is what I play it for. It is a perfect balance between a mech game with its movement and the teamwork you'd get from a 6v6 shooter. So then, why is my PvP game mode full of PvE? Why am I getting so many bots in these games? I know that they're bots because they have weird names, default paint jobs, time on the 3v3 Ace Arena mode, and they play as Inferno. They play as freaking Inferno. Nobody has Inferno yet. And these bot matches are just simply undesirable in matchmaking. I knew it was a problem from previous betas, but I thought that this open beta would have at least cut down the amount of it. So far, I know that the only thing that they did for the bots here is they tweaked the difficulty so that AI isn't as dominant as the last beta. It is crazy to me that in a PvP game we have to think about, oh, is my opponent an AI or not? That is going to leave a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths. And I've definitely seen those negative comments in the Discord and in other forms of media. So my proposed solution to all of this is to just remove all the AI from dedicated PvP modes, and instead, only use them if somebody's AFK, or putting all those AI in a dedicated versus AI queue where people can just do their weekly challenges or just relax and stuff like that. These AI should not be better than people. There should be hard AI, sure, and we definitely seen some of those expert and hard AI in the last beta test where they were just aim bombing and they were able to just take you out of the sky, and they were wall hacking you, they were tracking you through walls. Those are ridiculous spots, and that should be its own fun mode, but it should not be affecting the PvP ecosystem.
Jump, 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 go! Oh my god, what? What the fuck was that? There was a fucking hole in the ground?
Do you remember the sound? Sounds good, doesn't it? Gives me a lot of nostalgia whenever I hear that Xbox achievement sound. But you know what doesn't make me happy about achievements? Having to grind them in order to gain player levels. I don't know what caused them to come up with this system, but it is probably the most ridiculous player leveling system I've ever played in a PvP kind of game. Your level has a lot of important things in it. We don't need achievements to literally mark your progress and block players from basic functions. Some levels are really important for not only the matchmake game mode, but also just in general. Look, they're locking functions like glider research, cargo space, extra airdrops, stuff like this, and the 2 extra game modes needs to be just, I don't know, free to unlock. You have to be level 15 to access custom rooms and level 16 to access 3v3 modes. Why? Why block people from playing customs together? Why block important game modes behind a week of casual play? I know dedicated people who have been playing for 3 days already and they're not level 15 because the challenges don't accord to how people are playing. I don't want to spend so much time grinding for challenges just so I can have access for custom rooms. This is ridiculous. Some achievements I do like. I get that. I love that some achievement gives you cosmetics or titles and stuff. That's super interesting. However, tying your player's in-game level to specific patterns of playing feels wrong because you don't necessarily have to do what the achievement tells you to do in order to win games. Like, this isn't a game where it's PvE and you need to bully a bunch of bosses, or you have a no-hit run, or you're running Iron Man mode and you complete all the side quests to get a super epic achievement. This is a game where you're testing your mettle against other very good players. Especially the achievements in higher elo, quote unquote higher elo, is almost impossible against very good players. And not to mention, there are 50 levels of this, and each level requires a higher and higher amount of achievement points in order to progress. This progression system is frustrating. It's frustrating. Nobody wants to engage with this. People don't want to clear achievements or grind tutorials or buy paints and all this stuff just to access basic game functions. You want people to level up as fast as they can so they can enjoy the full game. I think the simplest solution to all of this achievement point problems is just to tie the XP that you get from, playing the game to those achievement points. So like the battle pass XP, I guess, because there's no real good reason to lock, let's say, the 3v3 mode or custom rooms behind all this leveling stuff. And there's other really important stuff like, extra backpack space for Mechabreak that I don't think should be locked behind whether or not you played enough of the tutorials or had enough paint cans or did enough MVPs in the regular 66 mode. It just doesn't feel very intuitive to me, and it doesn't really reward that much good play because it's very specific about the things that it wants, right? And none of those challenges that are hard are even real to the 66 mode that you would experience. So I don't know. I just think that it needs to be easier for players to gain levels.
Change the world. My final message. Goodbye.
Okay. Last chapter of the video. I want this game to succeed. That is my final message. I want this game to do really good. It is an original IP for a mech game, which doesn't happen very often, and when it does, usually it kind of blows. But Mechabreak has such amazing core gameplay functions that I do not want it to dive bomb like Gundam Evolution because of its poor monetization scheme. Its servers are fine, its customization is awesome, its features are great, but it's locked and it's grindy, and I just don't know what they are thinking with that. Hopefully we can change their minds by you that's right, you posting your thoughts on whatever platform that you have, because I really want to make this game pretty fun to play when it does come out, and only by providing them feedback, that's how we will be able to impact the change that we want. And I'm sure that all of the Chinese creators and reviewers out there are already doing the same. And the last point I have is consumer trust is a hard thing to come by, and you can lose it very quickly. That happens to people as well. Trust is so hard to come by, and I want Mechabreak to have consumer trust, and the only way to do that is by impacting a lot of change from the current state, and by being transparent that you are making changes from this point. And that's about it. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for sticking to the end. This is the first on-camera kind of video I've ever done in my life, I guess. It's a lot of work. This is a lot of work. The camera work, the lighting, the recording. I've spent 2-3 hours here already. I mean, granted, this is my first time doing this, so man, it's a lot of work. But I am practicing for some really cool things that are going to be coming along, and I hope you will stay tuned for that. But until then, please get some water, touch some grass, and I'll see you next time. Ciao.